the incumbent chairperson of蘭桂坊Group, our father of蘭桂坊, Dr. Alan Seaman, GBN, GBS, JP, to being interviewed with Hong Kong Wisdom. Dr. Seaman is also a member of the Chief Executive Council of Advisor of the Government of Hong Kong Special Administrative Region and several non-executive directors. In 2012, he was awarded honorable doctorate degrees of Business Administration from City University of Hong Kong and the Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Undoubtedly, he has made a huge contribution to the development and economic of Hong Kong that he deserves. So it's very happy to have Dr. Seaman today with us. So let's have some warm-up question with Alan. Dr. Seaman, we know that you opened the California restaurant in蘭桂坊since 1983, which was located on Narrow Street in Central, and made the acquisition of the entire block of California Tower in 1984 that started your career in蘭桂坊development. Your unique concept of the restaurant and bar culture reshaped the position in蘭桂坊and made the place to become one of the most entertainment area in Hong Kong. Lots of visitors who come from all over the world to entertain here every year. That is the source of your name, Father of蘭桂坊. So Alan, how do you see the name? Do you like this actually?
Actually, I do. I like it because you're right. I did start蘭桂坊.蘭桂坊was just a street basically, and it was an area where in the old days I think was matchmaker's lane. I think that mothers used to bring the daughters to meet a young guy for marriage, and vice versa. Mothers used to bring their sons to meet the potential matchmaker, so it was called Matchmaker's Alley. But I just saw something special in蘭桂坊, old buildings, and a lot of people would say, oh, just tear down the buildings. But it was one block from Queens Road, which is really the business area of Hong Kong at the time. And I thought to myself, if we can get people to walk one block and really can make it into after office hours, after work, lunchtime, it's a good location. So that's why I like the feng shui here.
Feng shui?
And that really attracted me to蘭桂坊.
Yeah. So apart from蘭桂坊, you used to undertake the role of chairperson of the board of the Ocean Park Corporation and revived the title of Ocean Park under your management, which directly enhanced the competitiveness of the theme park and make the surplus 11 years in a row. However, the current situation... 13 years now. Wow, so long. However, the current situation of Ocean Park, as we know, is totally different from the past. So do you think your strategy at that time can be applied nowadays for promoting Ocean Park to surpass the flow of visitors with another theme park and keep creating a surplus again?
I think that for me, obviously, when I first came to Ocean Park was an old park. Tung Chi-Wah at that time was the chief executive.
Yes.
And Disney was coming to Hong Kong, and the government was very, very worried that Ocean Park would not survive. We'd have to close Ocean Park. So Tung Chi-Wah at that time already started蘭桂坊, and he was my friend, and he called me 6 times actually, because he kept calling me.
Call 6 times.
Please go and look at it. Please go to Ocean Park. My children went to Ocean Park when they were small, but I never went to Ocean Park, and so I lived on the south side. I used to pass by every day, but from the outside of the car. And then I thought to myself, so 6th time I figured I'll give him face, right?
Okay.
I said I'll go and look at the park, right? Because he said we didn't have anybody else. He couldn't think of it. And so I went to the park, and I always have a saying that I look at things not for what they are. I look at things for what they could be. I always see things different in my eyes, Most people see the same thing. I see difference.
Yes.
And that really helped me to, as soon as I came there, the paint was peeling, the roads were broken, because nobody put money into it. And the staff, they're wearing uniforms from 1950, I think, from government. It looked really old. And they weren't their faces were not so happy. I know in a theme park, you need to have happy people.
Happiness, yeah.
Happiness, yes. As Disney says, the happiest place on earth.
Of course.
And so I just thought Ocean Park needs to be, because we thought, when I thought about it, parents grew up with Ocean Park, grandparents grew up with Ocean Park, children grow up with Ocean Park. So it's really part of Hong Kong's history. So I thought I called Mr. Tong and I said, if I don't take the job, who can you give it to? He said, I don't have anybody, maybe a government guy or something like that. So I thought, you know what, I'll take the job.
Okay.
Right? I said, but you have to support me. You have to. He said, no, don't worry. And so, because it's intimidating, Disney, the best named theme parks in the world, coming to Hong Kong, I knew nothing about theme parks, but I just knew that what needs to be done. And so I surrounded myself with experts, like advertised for the CEO. I knew I needed somebody that knows theme parks, so I could learn together. And I got an American guy, Tom Merman, that was excellent, very, very good. And he came and we put together a team with local management. He came local and together with him. And suddenly we started coming up with a plan. I know with Disney, we need to be world-class, first class, Can't just do a paint job and expect people to come. And so we really came up with a plan, went around the world looking at different theme parks in the world. And I learned about what theme parks should be and what they should look like. And that's exactly what happened. That we had different designers, and then we figured out what it would cost. I had to get money through the government, through LegCo. But we did a video of what the future park could look like. And the government was very excited. LegCo members were very excited. And so it was going to be 5.5 billion Hong Kong dollars. Not a small sum, but it's a big park. And if you want to do it right. And so that's what we did. And then the first attraction that we had, we didn't have a lot of money. Like Disney had a lot of money. We didn't have a lot of money. So we thought, what can we do? And then I realized the old aquarium in Ocean Park, all the Chinese visitors who came, there was a small jellyfish tank. Yes. And they all used to take pictures of the jellyfish, in the tank. I didn't know anything about animals. And so then I thought to myself, wow, Chinese love jellyfish. Yes. They love to take pictures. So I thought it was very, very funny. But and I asked my experts, animal experts, and they told me there's 2,000 species of jellyfish in the world, many in Japan, Hong Kong, Repulse Bay. Some of my friends got stung by jellyfish. Okay. So I thought, wow, let's do a new attraction. Let's do a jellyfish attraction in-house. And I had our in-house designers, because we didn't have money to go outside. And we had the old Halloween houses. Yes. So instead of putting just a tank, I decided to do a jellyfish attraction, right? It was a real adventure, jellyfish adventure. And so then, and it only cost us 7 million Hong Kong dollars, not much, to design the first attraction. At that time, I thought to myself, I asked the marketing team, what are we going to do for, to market the opening of the new jellyfish attraction? And they said to me, well, we're going to have 4 little girls dressed like jellyfish, in jellyfish costume. Okay. So I thought, oh, great. So they said, what about you? Because I'm chairman of the park. Normally chairman wears a suit and a tie
jellyfish
and everything. So I thought, I'm in a theme park. How about I dress like a jellyfish? And they said, you're kidding. I said, no, I'm serious. And so that's what happened. I mean, we wound up dressing like a jellyfish. And then when I got to the park, the day of when all the press was there, and so I came to the theme park, to Ocean Park, and I saw the 4 little girls dressed like jellyfish. And then they gave me my costume. I went to the dressing room, I put the costume on, and it looked ridiculous. I thought,
so
oh my
funny.
God, it was very, very funny. I thought, you know what? For me, I just do it. I follow Nike. They say, just do it.
Just do it.
I just do it, right? I didn't care. And so I went there, and when it came out, all the press, the photographers were there, and everyone was laughing so hard, and taking pictures,
Yes.
and it was a real hit, you know. And then the next day, every newspaper, the front page, the chairman of Ocean Park dressed like a jellyfish. Not just Hong Kong, in Seattle, Washington, New York City, London, England, every front page, you know, because it was big news. The chairman of Ocean Park, you know, it's no one in the world would do something like that. And so then I realized, wow, we don't have money. And it's a good way for advertising, free advertising. The newspapers, they all need a good story and a good picture to sell their papers. And so that's how I continued. Every time we had a press conference, I would always dress up in different costumes. So the press, you know, because for me it's important because the press is the one that really can tell the story to the public, you know. And if you really make it a really good event, rather than just wearing a suit and tie and just sitting, you know, make it boring. So make it interesting. That was Ocean Park, and that's how Ocean Park became so famous. And even 6 years after, we won the Applause Award, which was #1 theme park in the world, and no one ever in the local theme park. But no, so it was a very good 13 years, and every year we beat Disney 13 years in a row in profit and in attendance. And it really never happened before to Disney in the world. Forbes magazine did an article after that, and the headline was Alan Zeman, the Mouse Killer. So I got known as the Mouse Killer because Mickey Mouse was...
Well, it's so much fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed every day there and all the staff, you know. And I didn't get paid for it. That's zero for 13 years.
Are you kidding?
No, seriously. But I did it for Hong Kong, you know, so I was just happy to do it.
Yeah, I can get your smile on your face that your work every day is very challenging and interesting. So let us discuss the culture of Lan Kwai Fong. As one of the renowned legendary party hubs in Hong Kong, Lan Kwai Fong has become the place where the sport tourists must check in without a doubt. It went through different developments for several decades. It always organized different themed events to attract people all over the world. For example, like the Halloween, just we celebrate before, and coming Christmas, so to speak, is one of the places where reflect the actual economic situation of tourism. How do you see the current macro environment, and what kinds of methods do you consider that is feasible to draw more attention of tourists in order to help the government to stimulate the economy?
Well, I think that you're right. Lan Kwai Fong became, it was just a street before, and because of all the bars and clubs and restaurants, and also we had a lot of famous people grew up in Lan Kwai Fong, you know, Wang Fei, you know, who's one of my customers, a star, Michelle Yeoh, who won the Academy Award.
Wow,
so many people, Jackie Chan, you name it, everybody. Everybody, you know, everybody. And so at that time, Danny Chan, you know, when he was alive, the singer.
Danny Chan, Oh, so, what a pity.
What a pity. But I was like his godfather. He used to, every day he used to come to California. You know, and then when he had a show at the Coliseum, I had to go and sit in the middle of the seat. So Lan Kwai Fong became very famous because of that. And we continued, because I grew up in the fashion business, we always change, you know, fashion changes 6 times a year. So Lan Kwai Fong always has to change along with the times. And we like to lead, you know, and one thing I know is attracting the right people make the park, right? So if you attract the right people, and now Lan Kwai Fong is so famous in China, you know, every day maybe 200 people come to take pictures from China, and you know, they put on Xiaohongshu. And they really love it because, you know, then we opened up Lan Kwai Fong in Chengdu 16 years ago. And it's very, very successful, very, very good. So really enjoyed, you know, Lan Kwai Fong became a brand, a real brand. And every day I get calls from party secretaries in different cities. Xi'an, we're going to do one in Xi'an. We'll do one in looking at Chongqing now. Hainan, Sanya called us.
Also mainland?
Yeah,
okay.
Over mainland. Yeah, they all want Lan Kwai Fong. And Lan Kwai Fong is kind of the name. What used to be a street, it's like a brand.
Yeah, brand.
I'm going to party.
Yes.
I'm going to meet friends and that kind of thing. So I'm very proud of the way, because it keeps changing. You know, of course, Halloween, we were the ones who started Halloween in Hong Kong when people didn't even know what it was. And
yes.
then we dressed up. First year, everyone thought, oh, who's these crazy guilos? And,
crazy guilo.
Yeah. This year, we had 65,000 people.
65,000 this year, okay.
Yeah. So a lot of people said, "Oh, I have to come to
Hong Kong, have fun."
It's become a real brand. Yes, I'm very proud of it. And it keeps changing. New clubs, new restaurants, everything.
So the future is still good in the micro environment in Hong Kong?
The future's still good. Listen, for entertainment, this kind of area, no matter what happens in the economy, this is the right, this is the right kind of thing to have.
I know you have a new project now because there are many new mainland restaurants. Brands are going to have some shops in Lan Kwai Fong. For example, the mainland KTV will open its flagship store in Lan Kwai Fong December this year. So what do you think if this can bring a ripple effect of attracting more and more mainland brands to open more shops in Lan Kwai Fong?
I think that's really the name. When you have the name brands opening up in Lan Kwai Fong, it attracts. There's a lot of mainland companies now want to open up in Hong Kong. We now have just recently 160,000 mainlanders who came from different talent schemes opened up in Hong Kong. They came to get jobs in Hong Kong. Families have all settled here. So things have really, really changed a lot. Hong Kong has changed a lot. And so for me, I'm very, very excited. I mean, I love the mainland. I've been in the mainland for 45 years, actually.
Yes.
And so I know the mainland pretty well. And so I'll continue to do things that, will keep attracting mainland brands, because we now have so many mainlanders living here, and they know the brands from the mainland.
Yeah, familiar.
We just have Chengdu, Sichuan opening up here, Michelin Star. It's in Chengdu, they're opening up in Hong Kong. So many different brands. Yeah. So that's really what I'm really proud of right now.
So not only did our beloved giant panda Ying Ying give birth to the first ever giant panda twins in August, which made history of the world's first time panda mother, but also 2 giant pandas was gifted by the central government to Hong Kong have already arrived in September. There are some voices that we can seize the opportunity to develop the panda economy with a will to attracting more tourists. So what is your will towards the panda economy?
Well, I think the panda economy is very, very good. It has the potential to be excellent. I mean, I was really the one that got, originally when I became the head of Ocean Park, we had 2 pandas, and they were getting older, And so in the 10th anniversary of while I was there, at the handover in 2007, from 1997 to 2007, Beijing government was looking for some event to celebrate 10 years of the handover. And so I always had the idea, we have 2 old pandas. Donald Zhang was the chief executive at the time. So why not get 2 new pandas, And so I told Donald Zhang, and he said, oh, good idea, I'm going to Beijing. That time Hu Jintao was the president of China. And so he told Hu Jintao. Hu Jintao thought, oh, great idea. We'll give a gift to Hong Kong for 2 baby pandas. And that's how Lila and Ying Ying arrived. And, when they first arrived, people loved it. They watched it on TV. They watched it everywhere.
Yes.
And so I really enjoyed having them. And then recently, after I left, I saw one of the pandas just had a baby. He had twins.
Twins.
The oldest panda in the world to have twins. And I felt very proud. I called John Lee. I said, I'm a grandfather. Those pandas came because of me.
Yeah,
and
you're
then
a
they had
grandfather.
babies. So I said, I'm a grandpa. And he laughed, you know.
So
and,
happy.
Yeah, and then, of course, we got 2 more pandas now from China as a gift. And so we have 6 pandas. And, of course, people love pandas. I think as a panda economy, if we really do a panda island in Ocean Park.
Panda Island.
Yeah, and really different exhibits with pandas and fun things and rides. You can really, really make it very exciting. I think a lot of people, because nobody has 6 pandas. No country has 6 pandas.
Yeah,
so
Hong Kong
I think we can really, really, aside from Sichuan, you know, but outside of China, so I really think we can really do a good job.
Yeah, she treasured the panda.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, indeed, building the panda economy is not the only business of the government. Ocean Park has also the main responsibility to assist the government to being a panda community. However, Ocean Park has its financial difficulty, in particular, started turning into a profit last year finally. So, how does Ocean Park cooperate with different stakeholders to explore more business opportunities in terms of panda economy?
Well, I think we have 6 pandas. It's easy to actually to speak to, work with government. It's easy to get people, if we really build a great panda attraction, I think that we'll get people, international people, we'll get local people, people from China, you know, because I heard some legislators say, oh, well, the mainlanders won't come here because they have pandas in Sichuan.
Yeah.
But I think she's wrong. I think that, you know, if we do it right, and we do it very different than they do in China, I think a lot of people will come and really
Still come
help
here
to attract tourists to Hong Kong. Anyone with children, whatever, they will come to Hong Kong to see the pandas, you know, and people just love pandas, even though they're bears. You know, they can be dangerous, so you have to be careful because they are bears, but they're very cute.
So let's talk about the quality migrant admission scheme. The famous snooker player, also Vivian, decided to come to Hong Kong and become a part of us through the quality migrant admission scheme. So how do you see this case?
Well, I think that obviously Hong Kong has a great name. It's got a low tax base, lower than most places in the world.
Yes.
And so I think that really consideration, people with money, that's something that they look at, because people don't like to pay tax.
Of course.
And so, of course, because of, 50% tax, so he decided to come here. He's been here a number of times, he's won many tournaments here. And so I think that Hong Kong still has that attraction because the low tax base really makes it a special place to live. And so if you make money, people like to keep it instead of paying tax. And so I think that I'm expecting other people will follow, you know.
Do you know that some famous people also will come to Hong Kong, as you know?
Yeah, of course. Coldplay is one.
Wow.
Chris Martin is very, very good. He's very, very good, excellent, you know, and I think, and from what they tell me, this might be his last tour, you know.
Okay.
So I think it'd be good for Hong Kong to have it. And the new stadium, Kai Tak Stadium, is really, really beautiful, really amazing.
Yeah, you have been there, so...
I've been there 3 days ago. And,
thank you.
Yeah, really, really lovely.
Hoping there are many great events happening there. And the last question I want to ask Dr. Simon. So the applicants of mainland account for over 95% of the applications since the introduction of the scheme in 2006. How can we optimize the scheme to attract overseas applicants and their talent in order to enhance Hong Kong economic competitiveness?
I think, well, we already have, because I happen to sit on the government's Human Resources Committee. And so there was a big shortage of staff in many, many industries. And because we had 200,000 Westerners left Hong Kong, and then we had 150,000 locals moved to UK with the BNO passport. We had a big shortage of staff, but we went out around the world. We wanted to get 50% international, 50% mainland. And we went out around the world looking to attract talent from graduates of approximately 200 universities, top universities in the world. And also some schemes have to earn $2.5 million a year.
Wow.
You know, yeah. And so because we wanted a higher class of people. And we wound up getting, as of last week, 360,000 applications.
Wow.
And then, and now we approved 240,000, which is quite amazing. And now 160,000 as of last week have moved to Hong Kong.
Wow.
Because of the low tax base, because of everything like that. So I think I'm very, very excited about that. And that's why the rental market is so high, so crazy, because they're all renting flats right now.
So very thank you for Dr. Simon for coming to share your opinion with our audience. If you like our video, please comment, like, and share. And see you next time. Thank you, Ella.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.